I spend a whole lot of time right here at my piano, but one of my biggest fears is that I'm not making good use of that practice time. In this video, I'm going to share with you the simple practice method that I use every day, which has developed my jazz piano skills faster than ever before. Our practice sessions are going to be exactly 20 minutes in length. We're going to have a timer, and we're going to have an explicit goal that we're trying to achieve for that session. This 20-minute limit that we have on each session is going to help police it to make sure that we don't bite off more than we can chew. So what I need you to do is get an index card, and at the top of your index card, I want you to write whatever technique it is you're trying to learn. So at the top of my index card here, I'm going to write 3-note rootless voicings in my left hand. This practice method is 3 steps, RPM. The R stands for recognize. Now on this index card underneath the title, I want you to write just one capital letter R. This R represents one 20-minute practice session here in the recognize step. As we do this, repeat it over and over, you're going to stack more R's on the end of it. The goal for this 20-minute recognize session is to just build the academic understanding of this technique, to understand how it works on paper. So this is your chance to research this. You go online and look it up, you can read books, you can watch YouTube videos, but you'll know that you've done enough of these when you can explain this topic pretty thoroughly to a friend. So after R, our next step is P, and P stands for play. And the goal here is that we're going to deliberately and as slowly as we need to learn how to play this technique at the piano. And this works very much in the same way. We're going to set a timer for 20 minutes. We're going to write a P now onto the end of our chain. And this P represents one 20-minute session that we spent playing this technique. So in my example here, maybe I'm going to go find all my major chords in both the A and B inversions. We want to avoid as many mistakes as possible. I don't want you to press the keys and then go back and check to see if you got it right. I want you to kind of put your hand on the keyboard, double check yourself, make sure you got the right notes, make any corrections, and then push them down. As much as possible, we want the sound that comes out of our instrument to be the right sound. That'll keep us from getting bad habits. Now, when the time runs out, I want you to be a judge of how you're progressing. Now, be nice to yourself. We're having fun here. But be honest with yourself. Did you have to go back to your research? Did you have to open the books again to remind yourself how this technique works? And if so, you might have to go back and do another R session to really fill in that gap in your knowledge. Now, if you're doing this right, what normally happens is that you get all the way through the exercise the first time, but it's a little bit painful, right? Maybe you're going terribly slow. It requires a lot of mental thought, but this is good. Your next session is going to be another P, right? That is going to speed this up a little bit, get you a little bit more comfortable. And you're going to keep repeating this cycle, adding more R's and more P's onto the sheet until you know that you're ready to move on. My membership program over at Jazz Library is built exactly for this. It's literally a library of these techniques that you can learn by putting it through this process. Each technique comes with a short video and a worksheet that you can apply right away. There's also a free Zoom workshop every week that you can come to, and there's a free course on improvising for beginners. To join this community for free, click the link down in the description. In our RPM process, the M stands for mastery. So you kind of know the routine now. We're going to set our timer for 20 minutes. At the end of our chain, now we're going to write the letter M. Now the goal of this stage is to take this technique that we can now play with some confidence, and we're going to put it into real songs. So you need one of these. This is my best friend and my worst enemy, my Korg metronome. You don't need a Korg metronome, but you do need a metronome, an app, whatever. Now when we go through this process, your metronome is going to be clicking 100% of the time. There's no excuses, always clicking. You're going to pick a standard. It could be one of the songs that you already know pretty well, or it could be something new. I don't really care. With our metronome at a slow tempo, you should be able to get through the changes. Maybe you need to go through this with 2 bars at a time or 4 bars at a time. That's fine. But by the time your 20-minute timer runs out, I want you to get all the way to the end of the tune. Now you're going to ramp this up over time, right? Get the tempo up to where you want it to be, get really super comfortable with that. And you're going to do that by just doing more of these 20-minute sessions and adding more M's to the end of the break. When your timer goes off after 20 minutes, I want you to stop immediately no matter where you are and go take at least a 10-minute break. Going to give yourself some time to reset, give your brain a little bit of time to process what it just went through. And every time you come back to start another 20-minute session, you add another M to the end of your chain. Now you might need to do this for a while and work through a whole bunch of tunes before you really feel like you've got this mastered. When you feel like you've graduated and you've really got this technique mastered, I want you to take a look back at your index card. It's always helpful to me to see just how much work it really took to master something. Remember, it took us only 20 minutes really to understand how it works in our head, but just look at how many practice sessions it took for us to get to the mastery level. So as a moment of celebration, I want you to take this card that's now finished. I want you to put a binder clip on top of it. And as you continue to grow as a jazz musician with more and more of these cards, I want you to keep adding them to this stack as a reminder of how far that you've come. This channel is full of videos that have techniques that you can put through this process. So here's a few of my favorites for you to watch next.